Good day, my dear learners. Once again, this is Mrs. Jocelyn A. Rubino, your English teacher. Today, we are going to talk on the rules on subject-verb agreement with the focus on indefinite pronouns and intervening words. But before that, let us know the objectives of this session. At the end of the session, the learners or you should be able to, number one, define indefinite pronoun, count nouns, mass nouns, and intervening words. Number two, identify singular and indefinite pronouns. And number three, make verbs agree with their subjects. Okay, so let's start. First, let us know what are indefinite pronouns. An indefinite pronoun is a pronoun that does not refer to any person, amount, or thing in particular. So meaning, there is no specific noun being referred to by an indefinite pronoun. So, actually, this is the fourth rule on the subject-verb agreement. So, the rule says, the plural indefinite pronouns many, few, several, both take plural verbs. Okay, but first, how do we know if the verb is plural or singular? Okay, since the rules on subject-verb agreement is applicable when the verb is in the present tense, we can say that the singular verb is with S and the plural verb is without S. Okay, so let's have some examples. Example number 1. Many think that vaccine is the best way to prevent COVID-19 infection. So, the underlined word think is the verb of the sentence. And obviously, it is plural in form. Why? Because the subject of this sentence is the indefinite pronoun many, which is a plural indefinite pronoun. Number 2. Only a few remain after the difficult challenge. Same reason, the verb remain is plural in form. It's because of the word few. Number 3, both partners maintain mutual trust and respect. Okay, so the verb maintain is also in plural form. Okay, it's because the subject of sentence number 3 is the plural indefinite pronoun both. Okay, so let's have the next rule. Okay, so the next rule is about indefinite pronouns that may take singular or plural verbs. Okay, so the rule says, the indefinite pronouns some, any, all, most, none may be singular or plural depending on the noun that follows. They are plural if they are followed by a plural count nouns and singular if they refer to mass nouns. Okay, so by the way, let us differentiate count nouns and mass nouns. Okay, what do we mean when we say count nouns? From the word count, these are nouns that can be counted. So you can count it by 1, 2, 3, how many pieces? Okay, so that is count nouns. Okay, how about mass nouns? Mass nouns are nouns that cannot be counted. But remember, these mass nouns can be measured. So you can measure it by use of a tablespoon, a kilo, okay? So you can measure it, but you cannot count it by 1, 2, 3, or 5. Okay, so let's have the given examples. Number 1, some of the money was spent on prices. Okay, so the verb here is was spent. And of course, it is singular. Why? Because the word money is singular. Okay, you might be asking, Mom, we can count money. Yes, we can count money, but we are not counting the pieces of money, but we are counting its amount. Okay? We have to be clear on that. We can count money, but we are not referring to the pieces of money, but we are referring to the amount of money. That's why the word money is still considered singular. Okay? Next. Number 2. Some of the module writers have received financial remuneration. Okay? What do you think is the verb of this sentence? Yes, the verb is have received. And we all know that it is plural. Why? Because the module writers is an example of a count noun and it is plural. Okay? Yes. Okay, and next, number 3. Most of the coffee tastes good. Okay, the verb is very good. It is tastes. Okay. If you remember what I told you a while ago, the verb with S, it means it is singular. Okay? Now, why is it singular? Yes, it's because of the word coffee, which is also singular. Okay? So remember the difference between count nouns and mass nouns. So if you refer to count nouns and it is plural, well, you have to use plural verbs. Okay? And if you refer to mass noun, then the verb is always singular. Okay? Next, we move on to the next rule. Rule number 6 says intervening words or expressions such as together with, as well as, in addition to, along with, and other similar expressions do not affect the number of the verb. Okay. Now, what do we mean when we say intervening words? Okay. Intervening words or phrase is a word or phrase functions as a modifier that modifies the preceding subject. Okay? It only modifies the preceding subject, meaning it is not the subject itself. No, it is not the subject, but it is only a modifier of the subject. That's why it has no effect with the number of the subject. Okay? What matters is the number of the subject is always the number of the subject. It doesn't have any effect on the intervening words that come after it. Okay. Example sentences. Number 1. The athletes, together with their coach, agree to undergo the training every week. Okay. The verb is agree. Okay. Is it singular or plural? Yes, it is plural. Okay? It's plural. Why? Because the subject of this sentence is the athletes and not the coach. Okay? Remember, it's not the coach which is the subject, but the real subject of this is the athletes. And since it is plural, then the verb is also plural. Okay? Okay, next. Okay, next. So you see, the verb is plural. It's because the subject, the athletes, is plural. Okay, let's have the next example. The principal, along with the BNHS teachers, joins virtual Zumba of the SDO Cagayan every Monday. Okay, so what is the verb in this sentence? The verb is joins. Now, may I ask you, what is the subject of this sentence? Is it the principal or the teachers? Okay, is it the principal or the teachers? It is, yes, it's the principal. Now, the verb joins is singular. Yes. Why singular? Because as we have said, the principal is the subject of this sentence and it is also singular. Okay? So that is what we mean by intervening words. Okay, so I hope that you understand the rules on subject-verb agreement with a focus on indefinite pronouns and intervening words. Now, to sum up our lesson, this is actually the generalization. Okay? Number 1, indefinite pronouns are pronouns referring to an specific person or thing. Number 2, singular indefinite pronouns receive singular verbs while plural ones receive plural verbs. Number 3, some indefinite pronouns may take singular or plural verbs depending on what it refers to. If it refers to mass noun, it takes singular verb. And if it refers to plural count nouns, it takes plural verb. And the last one, intervening words do not affect the number of the real subject in the sentence. Okay, so I hope that you earned something from this session. Okay, so if you have questions, then please feel free to send me a message through text or through private message. Then I will send back it to you or give an answer to you. Okay? Now, I think you are now ready to answer your written works given to you. Okay? So, thank you for listening and keep safe always. Goodbye.